It's time for Clubhouse Chatter. Here's Norm Ordez.
All right, so we're taking an evening off of baseball, and we have a very special person on, coach on, and he has a great story to tell. It's a story of heartbreak. It's a story of overcoming. And, it definitely needs to be heard. And so ESPN did an E60 part on Chatter-Dietrich. It was based on Acey Shaw, the head basketball coach at Dietrich High School, who was stricken with a rare bovine disease. So he's a cattle farmer. And he had a calf, a newborn calf that was struggling. And so he put it in the cab of his truck to drive it to a warming box on his cattle ranch, and something went wrong. It made him sick. And he is here to tell his story. He's also here to tell about, what makes Dietrich so special. I grew up in Kimberly, which isn't very far away. And Coach Shaw, how you doing tonight?
I'm doing real good.
And so take it from there. So you got the calf in the cab, and how long was it before you started feeling symptoms?
It was about 5 days. I started feeling a little more sick, and then my back was hurting and my hair was sensitive, and then it was about 10 days and I could walk.
Wow. Did they ever, I mean, besides a bovine, some sort of a bovine virus, did they ever pinpoint what it was?
No, they never did. They never.
So we are talking to a medical marvel here. And so 2011, you became the head basketball coach at Dietrich High School for girls.
Yeah, yep.
And you won the Idaho 1A Division II state championship.
Yes, yeah.
And then a day after that, that's when things started going awry.
Yep.
So when people bring Acey Shaw up and they talk about you as a coaching legend, I know in your mind you're not. And you seem like a guy that's very humble. But, I mean, you've won 4 straight state championships. You almost won that 5th. I think your overall win record is, like, ridiculous. It's like 132 and 21 or 22 or something like that. What is that? How does that make you feel when they Acey Shaw, the Idaho coaching legend?
Yeah, it makes you feel like it's pretty amazing, but one thing I attribute to is a lot of hard work, didn't it? All the girls and the staff done.
You have surrounded yourself with a bunch of great coaches, and so my producer Brian is a high school girls golf coach at a 6A level school here in Oregon. And, with coaching ball, you're only as good as the coaches you surround yourself with. And I'm a firm believer in that. Let's talk about your coaching staff on how important they are.
Well, one thing is my assistant coach is my father, and his knowledge and his ability to help during the game it's been everything to me. He can say things and help the girls with everything I need them to do. And motivate them.
And the girls, they're a special group. You've had them coming through, and you've got a heck of a program going on there in Dietrich. Dietrich's only a town of about 250, 300 people. There's not even a stoplight in Dietrich. At least in Kimberly, we had a stoplight. We had a blinking stoplight. How special are the girls? You got a program going on, and talk a little bit about that.
The girls, one thing about it, like you said, we're very small. So the girls have put a lot of time into every girl we have in the school has to participate in. And they put a lot of their work in the off season to make sure the program is getting. And one thing I do for most of the 3 days is all the hard work that the girls have done through the off season and this season, and during the season.
And so you guys placed, would you guys place third? Did you guys place second or third this season?
The second.
And Richfield got you guys again, right?
Yes, yeah.
Man, what is up with that Richfield program? You guys in Richfield, they're at the 1A level in Idaho, man. I mean, it's usually one of you guys in the winning the title.
Yeah, and I think that has a lot to do with how good we are because we push each other to be better. If it's not us playing Chatter-Dietrich play each other all year long and we get better.
So now, do you so growing up in Dietrich? So you're Dietrich. You grew up in Dietrich. You played basketball in Dietrich.
Yeah.
I know the boys just won the 1A state title for the first time in, what was it, 50 years?
Yep.
And now you have a son playing on that team, don't you?
Yeah, I do. Yeah.
And so now it's not only girls basketball that's top dog, it's the boys. And what did that mean for the town of Dietrich? I mean, they're used to the girls, taking home state titles, but what did it mean to win the boys state title?
Oh man, it's something that Chargers playing for they've been the people here been went a long time to go back. Everybody was, I think it's an amazing thing that the boys have done. And they put a lot of work into it just like we did. And the team they have this year is really talented. And they have a lot of athletic ability. And the coaching staff is really gonna, they put a lot of effort into making them better. And that's what counts.
And ESPN, when they did their E60 story on you, how has that changed your life? And if so, how? I mean, Dietrich normally doesn't get a lot of publicity. Nobody, I mean, outside of Idaho, outside of southern Idaho, how many people have heard of Dietrich, Idaho? I don't know. Not very many. But then you also have, UConn head basketball coach Gino, who's an icon, narrated the story for you. And how has that changed you, and what has it done for Dietrich? It was nominated for an Emmy tonight, by the way.
Yeah. Yeah, it was, it's amazing to think. It's hard to, somebody never live real, but when ESPN come here, I think it put Dietrich in those 3 teams dead now. But to have ESPN and the UConn coach be part of the story was an honor for me. And
now, do you follow the NCAA women's basketball? You got the Final Four coming up. Do you follow that at all?
Yeah, I follow it a little bit, yeah.
And so we have a question. So here we are. We're in Oregon and we're in Beaver country, and so our Oregon State Beavers are going to be taking on the UConn women. What I want to know is, does Oregon State stand a chance?
Man, with that kind of experience, it's going to be a hard game to win.
It will be a hard game to win, and I don't follow women's basketball that much, but it's definitely perked our interests. And so let's talk a little bit about your faith. So you're a member of the LDS Church.
Yes.
And how has that played into what you have gone through?
My faith is it's everything to me. And it's like everybody has their challenges in life. And whenever when you have everything to Christ, and that's what I've done and continue to do. Just follow Christ, and everything around me was a light that we have inside, so we all have wanted to go out. But as we just keep going day by day, we can be an example of light with the Christ.
And you, my friend, are setting a great example of perseverance, of just fighting on. And you know, when I first saw the E60, made in Dietrich, I mean, it definitely tugs at your heartstrings. I mean, number one, that's home. I mean, Southern Idaho is home for me, and I've been away from Kimberly for 30 plus years, but I still consider Kimberly my hometown. I was raised there a little bit and went to high school, graduated from there, but that's home, and it's Southern Idaho. And I'll tell you, growing up in a Southern Idaho town, Kimberly, Dietrich, all your little, Shoshone, all those little towns there, it's special. It's like no other, and it's because of people like you that make it special.
Yeah, thank you. That's when I was growing up, I remember all the little towns around. There's quite a competition to be as best as you could be. And today we just try to continue working and try to keep the little town of Magic Valley to be effective in sport of basketball and for the kids.
When it's all said and done, when you're done coaching and you're retired from coaching, whenever that may be, and what do you want to be remembered as? How do you want to be remembered?
Well, the thing I want to be remembered is just someone that you can live day to day and have fun with it, have joy when you do it. And one thing is never give up. And great things are possible when you just keep going day by day.
That is true. Our old friend Jimmy Valvano, who's passed on for a while, he always said that, never give up. And it is so true. I mean, you never give up. And, you could have chosen, the pity party path if you wanted to, but you did not. I mean, I know your faith is, behind a lot of it. And, you just keep digging in and, you keep fighting and continue to fight the good fight. And, one final question before we let you go is, where is Dietrich High School girls basketball right now? So you finished second this year. How are you guys going to be set up for next season?
Next season, we have a bunch of coverage. They can be great team this year. We have a lot of girls in there that want to play, and there can be great athletes. I think it's a big, great program for next year.
And those young ladies, they love playing for you, and they, from what I've seen, they'll run through a brick wall for you.
Yeah. Yeah, I think the one thing they see, one thing I've always tried to be was a person with the cousin. And they see me struggling, so when they come, they give me everything they got. Because they won't let me do anything.
So my mom calls me up yesterday, and she hears that you're coming on story. She watched your show. It brought her to tears. And you friended her on Facebook, and she wanted me to pass on that, she loves the story. You know, she loves the fact that you're from Southern Idaho, and you know, keep fighting and keep the faith. And so, once again, Coach Acey Shaw from Dietrich, girls head basketball coach in Dietrich, Idaho. 300 people strong in that town, and like I said, it's special. If you're ever in the Southern Idaho area, you know, make it a little bit trip. It's a little bit north of Twin Falls, you know, between Twin Falls and Sun Valley. It's a great little place. You know, they've got a great little place to eat there called the Eagle's Nest. And, you know, for everybody back home in Dietrich and Idaho, hey, thanks for listening. And, Coach, let's do this again sometime. And we wish you all the luck in the world.
Okay, thank you, Wes.
Hey,
I appreciate being on.
thank you, Coach.
Thank you.
All right, once again, Coach Acey Shaw on the show. And, man, Brian, what do you think?
The guy's great. I mean, that piece the ESPN did was very, very impressive, and to talk to him personally was very cool. Very cool get today.
You know, and we had talked about this a while ago. I don't know if you remember, but I remember when I first, and I can't tell you when I first saw the E60 show made in Dietrich. It must have been about 6 months ago, maybe a little bit longer. But I knew I had to get him on.
Yeah.
You know, whether it be for Clubhouse Chatter where we talk baseball or whatever, you know, we needed to do a show. You know, as a high school coach, you know, as a former high school coach for myself and Brian, I mean, man, he's winning state titles.
He's doing some great work there,
You know,
and winning games, and not only winning games, like you said, state titles. That's impressive.
So they won 4 in a row.
Wow.
And then nobody in the state of Idaho on any level had won 5 in a row. They lost to Richfield, which is pretty much their chief competitor in the Northside League in their conference, and they lost
In the championship game.
And so they rattled off, like, I think it was like 40 some wins in a row.
Wow.
Or something like that. And so, I mean, and they're playing teams like, so they're 1A. So back when I was growing up, it was A1, A2, A3, A4. Kimberly was an A3. So your larger schools were A1s. Now it's changed, and it's kind of like, I think it's like 5A, 4A. Dietrich comes in as one of the smaller schools, 1A Division 2. So they'd be kind of like maybe a St. Paul or maybe a Perrydale.
Yeah.
But they're beating 3A teams. So they're beating teams like Gooding and like, you know, Kimberly. I don't know if they beat Kimberly, but, you know, a couple sizes up from them, and they're beating them pretty handily.
Impressive.
And so they've got a great program going on, and it cracks me up because they're the Blue Devils. You know, I mean, all amongst, you know, here you are in LDS country, you know, you got a mascot of the Blue Devil. And I can remember growing up, and even today, I have never heard anybody complaining about the mascot, unlike what you have out here.
We complain a lot out here about everything.
We do complain a lot out here.
I think we could do a whole show on mascots. It's been done before, but we could do a really good show with just Oregon, and not Idaho, but Oregon mascots that are people complaining about.
Absolutely. And so, you know, hey, check them out on ESPN. They're on YouTube. Check out Made in Dietrich. It has been nominated for an Emmy Award. Congratulations, guys. And man, I'm excited. Dietrich is a great little town, you know, just, you know, all American, you know, hardworking folk, farmers. You know, I think in the beginning it said that Dietrich, Idaho was, what did it say, 300 people and like 35,000 cattle or something like that.
Crazy.
I mean, there's a ton, and it's God's country. I don't know if you've ever been up to Southern Idaho like that. It's, you know, it's desert, but it's God's country. It's special. And so I'm Norm. That is Brian. Hey, special edition of Clubhouse Chatter. Had nothing to do with baseball. But we will be back on Sunday starting at 9. Greg Prince, who is the author of Amazing Again, story of the 2015 New York Mets, will be on at 9. And then after that, it's the Parade of Doctors. And so we've got good friend Dr. Doug Dodds, DJ down in Northern California, is going to be coming on and talking about the Oakland A's, and it'll be his final time on the show for a while because he is moving to the Grand Caymans. He has taken a job as a country DJ in the Grand Caymans.
No way.
Imagine that.
That's awesome.
And so he won. He applied for it. There was 500 applicants or something like that, and he was the one they picked. And then after him at 11 is Doc Jacobs, wounded, U.S. Navy corpsman, will be coming on, and he's got a special project going to help amputees and wounded warriors and stuff like that, and it all has to deal with sports, and he's going to be talking about his new project. And so once again, Greg Prince at 9, Dr. Doug at 10, Doc Jacobs at 11, and we'll be hammering it out. And so once again, I'm Norm. That is Brian. Hey, Oregon State women's basketball, you know what? Pulling for you. Wish you luck. You got a big task ahead of you. You've got...
Not a chance.
The juggernaut, UConn. Hey, anything can happen. Anything can happen.
I have a couple connections to this team. Love this team. I've seen them play at Gill 4 times this year, 4 times last year. Been watching them.
UConn is good. UConn is really
UConn
good.
wins by 40 plus.
You think 40 plus?
If it doesn't happen, I shave my head next week. Not really.
Huh. I'll bring the razor.
All right.
So I'm Norm. That's Brian. Hey, we are sponsored by baseballism.com. If you like my shirt, baseballism.com, check them out. Also sponsored by baseballdudes.com. To be the best, you must train like the best. Chris Gazelle up there in Vancouver, Washington. Also, Base by Pros, building an athlete, sports education. Did you see Mitch Canham's little video that he posted yesterday?
No,
down in spring training?
I did not.
So you have to check it out. I'll have to see if I can find it and put you in there. But it's got Jay Buhner in it, and
that's awesome.
And yeah, it's pretty funny. So skipper of the Clinton Lumber Kings, Mitch Canham, and his dad also sponsor us, Mark Canham with MDM Designs. He does our Clubhouse Chatter shirts, and we do have those up for sale. If you would like one, hit me up, and I'll cut you some sort of deal. Hey, every time we stream live on yamhilltoday.com. Check it out, yamhilltoday.com. Hey, we're always looking for sponsors. Email me, normbo18@gmail.com. You can find us on Twitter, Clubhouse Chatter 1T, Facebook, Clubhouse Chatter, YouTube, Clubhouse Chatter. We're also on MLB.com blogs. Once again, that is Brian. I'm Norm. Hey, thanks for listening.